Hey, welcome everyone. César Mascorro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. And you know, Mr. Brian Hurd. Brian, go ahead. Why don't you introduce yourself for
Yeah,
folks
Brian
here?
Hurd, Senior Vice President, National Builder at Cardinal Financial. It's
All
good
right,
to be
that
here.
sounds important.
But it
Senior
doesn't
Vice
sound quite as
President.
sexy as you say your name. One of these days I'll figure out how you say it properly.
Senior Vice President.
Yeah.
I want to be Senior Vice President. So, all right. Hey, listen, man. You guys have seen us around before, right? We were in Louisville doing all these great interviews with people in the industry. We're actually in Biloxi, Mississippi for the Biloxi Manufactured Housing Show the last couple of days. But Brian and I wanted to come in and fill you guys in on what's been going on and give you some exciting news on what we have coming up here in the future. But Brian, why don't you tell us what's been going on the last couple of months in Louisville for you?
Really, I think the momentum for manufactured housing has really started to pick up. A huge part of our focus is on the community development side. I know we talk a lot about the retail side, retailers and dealers and that sort of thing. But a huge amount of interest, even, the last couple of days here in Biloxi, we're seeing a lot of landowners and builders and developers go, wait a minute. How do I use manufactured and or modular product for my communities?
Right.
Whether it's 5 homes, whether it's 50 homes, whether it's 1,000 homes, really excited. I mean, we've talked about affordability and attainability for a while now. How do we do it to scale? So really exciting to hear. And especially when you start talking about tariffs and trade shortages and all that kind of stuff, it becomes that much more important to utilize this product. Not that anybody wants to replace site built, but a really good alternative. In a lot of cases, it's superior product. So
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And I couldn't agree more. What we've seen over the last couple of months as well has been that we thought with the whole uncertainty of tariffs and things of that nature, that people on the retail side or the community side, really just overall in the industry, would pull back a little bit. Right? Let's wait and see.
Hasn't happened yet.
But it hasn't happened yet. They're like pedal down. Let's
Correct.
keep going. We're still moving. We're headed. We're moving forward. And so I've seen the same thing. The great thing about it, we've been talking about a lot to our clients and just people in general, is, things are. It's like aligning for everything for the manufactured home industry.
Yeah, and not just in the next 6 months, really in the next 6 years, 10 years, what?
That's right.
Really exciting. And we've talked about this before as well. I mean, the real estate market in general, it's not where we'd like it to be. And it maybe next year before we really get back to a really healthy market. But the good thing for builder and manufacturer specifically, if you need a new home, if you have to move, this may be your best option, maybe the only option, because if you've got a house with that nice shiny 3.5% interest rate, you don't want to give it up,
Right.
And trade it in for 6.5, whatever. So people that need to move, they need new.
Right.
As opposed to resale. So it's been really encouraging to see builder, and again, manufactured specifically, remain pretty strong despite the market that we're in right now.
Yes, and we've personally had a lot of calls. I've gotten a lot of calls from developers looking to get started, wanting to know, get with us as far as, hey, if we transition from site built and start adding manufacturer to our mix, how can we set this up? So that interest is there.
I love that for you, because I know that traditionally you've been doing. I'm just going to give you a shameless plug. Folks, this guy is the gold. Cesar and his team are the gold standard for sales, mentorship, coaching, mastery on the manufactured side. But traditionally, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of it's been retailers and dealers, some traditional community owner operator community types.
Right.
But now to see that you're getting into that builder developer space,
Right.
because the psychology of it's a little bit different than site built, and you have to be able to handle those objections.
Right.
People are going to come in and say, well, wait a minute, isn't this a manufactured home? And you have to be able to clearly articulate, no, it's a home. And I love that you're getting into helping sales teams be able to effectively sell these homes.
That's right, and that's a great thing about it, because everybody who's watching this, if they're in manufactured home sales, it's a natural transition to be able to be able to, like you mentioned, articulate it.
Yeah.
The problem is most haven't thought about it.
Yep.
We haven't had to.
Yep.
And now everything is at the point where we really need to start having those conversations, because whether we like it or not, it's coming.
It is.
It's coming. That builder developer is coming into the market, into our industry.
Yes.
And so now retailers and communities are going to have to be able to sell in that manner.
Correct.
The same way. And
Correct.
that's what I love about it, because my background before this, before my 15 years in manufactured home sales, I was in the site built world for 15 years.
I didn't know that. I knew you were. You had a dealership in San Antonio. Did not know you were in the site.
Yeah,
world.
no. So
well, you probably told me. I'm a little,
so from '93 to 2008, I was in the site built world. I used to design and build homes in San Antonio. So it's that.
So you understand both sides.
Yeah, it's that way of thinking.
You could probably understand the perception that world has.
That's right.
I mean, it's not exactly favorable. We know that. There's kind of this battle that goes on between site built, between modular, and then you've got manufactured, and they don't always gel well together. They need to. They can.
And now the builder is being forced to start going in this direction. And so the reality of it is they're better prepared than most retailers are to really push this product.
Correct.
They don't know the product, but they have the systems. They already know how to do this at scale. Now it's just switching out product.
I think that's a really good point, because I talk a lot about developers showing interest in this type of product, but builders, home builders that have traditionally done site build, that's what they've always done, are now looking at it and going, wait a minute, I can spend the next 6 to 8 to 12 months, doing a traditional site build, or I can order a house that has phenomenal quality control and have it delivered within 4 to 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I can bring my cycle time down to 3 months, including install and site work and garages and all that kind of stuff, maybe 4 months. So I can do 3, maybe 4 turns a year when I used to be able to do 1, maybe 2.
That's right.
So that part's really exciting, and the product itself dramatically different. I mean, we've seen some really cool product here in Biloxi. Every time I get to walk some of these new, like the lodge that Champion had, that thing is phenomenal.
Great house.
It's a beautiful
great house.
Really well done.
And that's exactly, you hit on it at the beginning, right? They're homes. They're not manufactured homes. They're homes. And that's what we have to start thinking in this way, and expand our own way of thinking and vision when it comes to it. So I love the fact that we're having these conversations. I love the fact we've met some great people that all are thinking, they're forward thinking that way, right? And that's why we're excited to talk to you guys about what we've got going on here and what we're going to be moving forward with, which is a totally different type of segment, totally different type of series that you're accustomed to seeing from us at Manufactured Home Sales Master. We're always talking about sales. We're always talking about how you can do better in sales, but we want to start moving the industry forward. We want to start bringing you people within the industry that are really thinking outside of the box, that are wanting to set you up, providing you product and services and everything that are going to help you be able to, quote unquote, I guess, compete with these builder developers that are coming in, right? To really move the industry.
Compete, coexist, however you want to put it, but
But at the same time, more important than that, I think it's about elevating the industry, right? That's been the main thing we've been talking about.
Do things a little bit differently.
Right.
Yeah, I love the word elevate, evolve. It's a massive industry. I think the big three, Cavco and Champion and Clayton, well over 100,000 houses on average, I think, a year, give or take. And then you've got all the independents out there, and then you've got some really amazing modular builders out there. It's a much larger player than I think most people think.
Right.
But how do we make it more of a mainstream side of the industry? Normalize it, so to speak. And we've talked about this before. I know that for me, my perception was dramatically different prior to 4 or 5 years ago. As I've dug deeper and deeper and deeper, and affordability and attainability is incredibly important to me, as I know it is to you. This is product that needs to be, I hate to even call it product, these are homes that really need to be how they're sold, how they're installed, how they're presented in a community. We need to make it a more normal attribute. And I'm really excited to be partnering with you because this is, look, I've learned a lot in the last 4 or 5 years, but you've been in this space, you said, what, 15 years
15
now?
years, yes.
And then I'm really excited to have guests that can help elevate that. Again, I love that word, elevate the conversation. Hopefully really change perceptions.
Right.
From developers to builders to retailers to dealers. Maybe, just maybe, even a few municipalities out there.
Yep.
How do we get local and state governments to go, hey, we know you need homes, we know you need housing. How do we bring it to your constituents?
Yeah, no, all of those are great points. And, I truly believe it starts with us. Look, I've said it for so long, and I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about us in the industry.
Yeah,
it's good. I say this with all the love in my heart for everybody in it.
What's coming?
But we do this to ourselves.
We do.
We do it to ourselves as an industry. Everybody out there at the retail space, community's not as much, but I'm really, look, I'm going to call it out. I was in the retail space 15 years, right? Sales manager, general manager.
I know where you're going.
And that's why I feel like I can speak to this in the sense of, look, you need to start changing the way you think, how you see your product, how you see the industry, how you see the business. We're no longer just serving that 8 to 10% that is traditionally a manufactured home buyer.
It's a great point. You can't expect the rest of the world to change their perception if the industry itself doesn't change its own perception.
And you see, that's been the thing, right?
Really
whenever we had somebody, whether it was when I was in an independent dealership for 7 years or the last 7 years that I did with a corporate dealership, that's the train of thought. And you'll hear it from, unfortunately, you hear it from some of the manufacturers, the reps, they'll come out and they'll tell you, hey, well, if those people come in here, they got to understand that this is what they're getting.
Yep.
No. It's time. It's 2025. It's time that you and me and all of us get off our ass and we start changing the way we think.
Correct.
That we go meet the buyer where they're at. Not expect them to come down to here. If we raise that bar, we elevate the industry, we elevate the way we think, and we elevate the way we operate, you can be up there with the Lennars and the David Weekleys and these track home builders and provide a viable option. But it's you rising to that level. It's not them coming down to ours.
It's a really good point.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm excited to partner with you and start doing this segment. We're going to be doing, right now we're thinking it's going to be a bi-weekly, right, or bi-monthly episode that will come in. We're going to bring in guests and really help promote the industry and start exposing you to the great things, because a lot of you, especially in the sales side of things, don't get to see all of this.
Yeah,
I know. Look, I've been in the industry 15. This is my first year here at Biloxi.
This is my first year.
I've never been here. Okay.
I mean, most of these shows that I've been going to over the last 6 to 8 months, I've never been to.
Yeah. And it's not uncommon in the industry to these shows. Most sales consultants don't get to come out. It's usually just the owner or the GMs that come and they're looking at the products, they're looking at the houses, they're looking at all that. So you don't get to see the greatness that actually is in the industry. Yeah. The people that are trying to push it forward with bringing new things and new ideas and new ways of doing things. And so we're going to start bringing them to you through this series.
And I would say, whether you're a loan officer, whether you're a dealer, whether you're a manufacturer, a builder, developer, anybody connected to the housing industry, realtors, we're starting to see a lot more realtor interest in this particular marketplace. So I think they're realizing that this is one of the, if not the largest growth sector over the next decade in housing, especially new housing. So I don't care if you're a competitor, let's talk. Let us know if you want to help push that conversation forward. Right. We want you to come be a guest, tell us what you're thinking, if you have questions, if you have topics. We want to make this as broad a discussion as we can, because I think that through these discussions, hopefully we create advocates, we create champions, so to speak. Then we can start going out and, hopefully working to help policy implementation and change. And,
that's right.
And that's how we affect real change in the market.
I love the word advocates because we talk about all the time, advocacy.
Yep.
Too many people rely on the associations to be the advocates.
They'll take care of it.
But
They're the ones that'll
that's
go
right.
to DC, and that's
They
what
got to
they
handle
know.
that stuff.
We
But-
need to be able to do that.
and that's the point I want to make is they are doing it, but they're doing it at the political level. You, me, those of you that are speaking to buyers, you can advocate for the industry directly to the buyer.
Right.
And that's where I think, you mentioned something earlier, the more of you that are out there advocating, posting on social, not just your ads for houses, but posting information about how great the product is, posting about the construction, all these things that people start getting educated. Now the people, the masses, the people that are out there buying will start to question their council people. Why can't I put one of these homes in my community?
Well, the louder the voices get, and the more support, people like you and I get, the louder our voices get when we do go to speak to, whether it's a city council, whether, we had the Deputy Secretary of Hurd here, this week, which is fantastic. There's a lot of visibility on it right now.
Yes.
Now is not the time to whimper and be quiet.
That's right.
Now is the time, to be loud.
And nobody's ever accused me of not being loud. All right.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, Cesar. I really am. I think we can have some really good conversations.
Yes.
And this industry, we've talked about it before. It may not have been the sexiest, but doesn't mean that it can't be. And I think it's incredibly important. I think housing affordability and attainability is really important. Look forward to some really good conversations.
We're bringing sexy back, baby. Listen, there's going to be, we don't know yet what it's going to be called. Hey, I operate with urgency, man. We're going to be on it. We're going to get it done. We're going to start moving
really
forward.
Excited.
We're going to get a name. There's got to be somewhere in the description here on the screen an email address where if you, like Brian said, if you want to be a part of the conversation, if you're willing to share some time, 15, 20, 30 minutes with us, we'd love to talk to you.
Your voices are
yes,
really
we'd love
important.
to talk to you. We'd love to see what's going on, what your thoughts are, how we can do things better as an industry, what you're bringing to the table. So reach out to us and we'll get in contact with you and get you put on the show. We also got some great things coming up for MHI Congress and Expo in Orlando in a couple
Early
months in May.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be out there, we'd love to have you at the table. Come and break bread with us. Come and hang out.
Really excited to be partnering
and
with
let's start moving this thing forward. So Brian,
look
as
forward
always,
to it, my
man.
friend. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Pleasure.
Very much.
You guys, man, let's go do it. All right.
Do it.
It takes all of us. You are the most important people in the room. We're just bringing the conversations to you. Let's go make it happen. Have a great time. From Biloxi, we're out of here.
Let's do it.
Talk to y'all soon.